All right, let's talk about this. Routines. I mean, you hear the word and it can feel honestly kind of boring, right? But listen, a solid routine is it's literally the foundation for everything. It's like the gas that fuels the engine of your day. So here's the deal. If you want to stay motivated, actively motivated, you got to start with clear, simple goals. Not these big, vague, unmanageable ones. I'm talking about goals that when you wake up, you know exactly what needs to happen. Because motivation, it doesn't just magically appear. You've got to create the conditions for it to thrive. Let me give you an example. For me, it's my morning routine as a mom, an entrepreneur, and let's be real here, a woman with a million hats to wear. My mornings are sacred, like non-negotiable. I wake up, and before the kids need me, I've already done a 10-minute stretch, planned my main priorities, and had that first sip of coffee. And I'm not just checking off boxes. This stuff actually sets the tone for my entire day. And look, when you break big tasks into smaller, manageable pieces, you give yourself this natural momentum. It's like, oh, okay, I tackled step one. Now let's move to step two. And those little wins right out of the gate, they add up. They really, really do. If you're feeling stuck, ask yourself this. What can I streamline? What can I plan ahead? What's one thing that totally sets you up for that feeling of, yes, today's going to be a good day? And honestly, it doesn't have to involve elaborate planning. Just start small. You can work, tweak, refine as you go along because routines aren't about being perfect. No, they're about consistency, creating those habits that fuel your fire day after day. Okay, so once you've nailed those routines, let's talk about mindset. Because your mindset is like the lens through which you see your world. And if that lens is cloudy, trust me, everything feels harder. Everything. One of the tools I love, is positive affirmations. I know it can feel kind of cheesy at first, but there's science behind this, okay? Repeating affirmations trains your brain to focus on what's possible instead of what's in your way. Like I used to tell myself every morning, Leilani, you are building something amazing today. And I kept saying that over and over, and guess what? It stuck. Those words shaped how I approach my day. And then there's visualization. This one, oh man, this one got me through some tough seasons. Back when I was first building the Boss Women Network, I had days where I just wanted to quit, like throw my hands up. But I'd sit, close my eyes, and see myself achieving the vision. Not just the big goals either, like I imagined little things, reaching people, celebrating milestones, and it worked. It kept me going when I thought I was done. Because here's the thing about these tools, they rewire your brain to look for wins. And that's where celebrating those small victories comes in. You might think, oh, it's just, I don't know, replying to one email today. But that's momentum, you guys. That's what shifts your energy. It's progress. And something else, track that progress. Like every day, write it down, log it in an app, anything. Because when you see what you've done in black and white, it creates this like tangible proof that you are moving forward. Even when it doesn't feel like it, you are. Mindset isn't about being in this constant state of positive vibes, okay? That's not realistic. It's about choosing to focus on growth and giving yourself the tools to stay grounded. That's how you stay engaged. That's how you build resilience. Let me ask you, who do you have in your corner? Like, really think about it for a sec. Because honestly, the people you surround yourself with, they matter more than you think. Motivation, energy, mindset, it's all contagious. So if you're constantly around negativity, that's going to rub off on you. But flip that, surround yourself with people who push you to grow, who inspire you to be better. That's a game changer. Over the years, I've learned this the hard way. There was one period where I was trying so hard to stay positive, you know, keep it together, but the people around me, they were just draining, always complaining, always doubting everything. So I had to take a step back, realize where my energy was going and make changes. And when I started connecting with people who had that drive, that fire, it was like everything clicked. I felt lighter, more focused. Now here's the thing. Building a support system isn't just about other people. It's also about supporting yourself. I see this all the time with friends, clients. They're so busy taking care of everyone else, they forget to take care of themselves. But if you don't refill your own tank, burnout's not just possible, it's inevitable. So start small. Incorporate variety into your day, like things that fill you up instead of draining you. Maybe it's stepping outside for 10 minutes. Maybe it's listening to music that lifts you up. Whatever it is, make time for it, because those little acts of self-care, they build momentum. They remind you that you matter right here, right now. And let me tell you about this one client of mine. Brilliant woman. She had so much potential, but she was stuck. She'd convinced herself that her goals weren't realistic. But you know what changed that? A community. A small group that met weekly for check-ins, celebrations, even just a little vent session. She started showing up even when she didn't feel like it. And over time, that accountability, those little nudges of encouragement, they became her fuel. She went from doubting herself to launching her own project within months. No magic tricks, just consistent support. So maybe your takeaway today is this. Be intentional with your circle. Find people who lift you up and limit the time you spend honestly with those who don't. And don't forget to pour into yourself, because at the end of the day, staying motivated isn't about doing it alone. It's about building a system, a community, and habits that help keep your fire burning. And that's all for today. Thanks for spending these few minutes with me. I hope it sparked something for you. Remember, you've got what it takes. Until next time, this is Leilani on the couch. Take care.